Welcome and thank you very much for checking out my review of Irresistible, the latest film by John Stewart starring Steve Carrell, Byrne, Mackenzie Davis, and Chris Cooper, a film that unfortunately had its theatrical run taken away due to the global bastard going around, and it doesn't leave quite a punch. So let's talk about it. The film follows a Democratic strategist as he helps a retired veteran run for mayor in a small conservative Midwestern town as a Democrat. Now, this film didn't make much noise when the trailer came out, and unfortunately, due to everything going on, it went directly to VOD. And it made even less of an impact than it would had it gone to theatrical. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of this film. There are very little good things I can say about it. It's shot nicely, the shots are composed professionally enough, the lighting as well. There's a good message, there are good morals in this film. Like the theme that this film is going to, tackling the political process when it comes to politics in America. It's a good idea, it's a solid foundation on where to build this movie from. But everything else feels old-fashioned, it doesn't feel sharp whatsoever, which is very weird coming from John Stewart, of all people. This is a film that feels very behind on the times. I don't know when he wrote this, if this script has just been floating out there and they didn't quite update it, but this film just feels very out of touch with the current climate. It also is going through this feel-good route when it comes to characters and how to resolve the whole situation, and that doesn't quite mesh with the type of political satire and commentary that it is also trying to do at the same time. And the performances are solid, I'll say that as well, that's another positive, but the characters are so forgettable. They're not dislikable, but they're not likable either. They're painted with such broad strokes, you can't quite define any of the people involved in this. Not Steve Carell's character, not Chris Cooper's, not Byrne's. I don't even remember their names. Steve Carell and Byrne have this sexually charged, bitter banter between the two of them throughout the entire film, and it feels wrong, it feels out of place, but it also is very cliche in terms, oh, you can totally see where this is going to end up come the end of the film. And amongst the many issues that I've already mentioned, with the simplification of politics or often taking the feel-good, easy route, this film is not funny. The comedy lands flat throughout. At points you can tell they're trying to make you laugh, but it just feels, that's weird, and that's the biggest reaction I got throughout this film. It's trying to convey a certain wisdom, I guess I'd say, but it's so conventionally unfunny and undramatically packaged, it leaves absolutely no impact. That's really the worst thing about this film. Irresistible could have been a total mess. A film that was so out there that it absolutely didn't work, but you'd remember it. You'd remember for how bad it was. Coming from John Stewart, however, you'd be not wrong to expect a sharp, witty, very in with the times political satire that actually has something important to say. This film tries to say something important, but the message just doesn't come across because the execution is so meh. It's packaged in the most uninteresting and unimpactful way possible. That just doesn't seem to be a salvation for this film because everything about it is just so forgettable. It's professionally made enough on a technical aspect and the actors are fine, but everything else just completely skips your mind as soon as you finish watching it. I'm giving Irresistible a D+. Thank you so much for watching, my beautiful geekies. You are the best. Stay tuned for many more reviews coming to the channel. This is a packed week. On Friday there are many movies coming out. I'll bring you reviews to all of those, and I also have to give you my review of Insomnia in my Christopher Nolan series leading up to Tenet. So don't forget to stay tuned, and of course, like and subscribe because it really helps me and the channel out. But most importantly, above everything else, forever and always, love each other and love the movies.